This is a BM Show special presentation.
Good evening, friends. This is Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and you're tuned to a special presentation of the BM Show. Tonight, we turn our attention to a modern classic.
Hey, it is our last episode of anime here. And as the music dies down, I believe Ben is going to take it away with the story.
Grave of the Fireflies is a 1988 Japanese animated war drama written and directed by Asua Takahata. Oh, God. There's going to be another one they're going to get me on. Takahata, and produced by Studio Ghibli. Can any of this be something I can read?
No, keep going.
The film is based on the 1967 semi-autobiographical short story of the same name. Oh, God, it's another one. By Akiyuki Nasaka. Set in the final months of World War II in Japan, it follows two siblings struggling to survive amid the devastation caused by American firebombing campaigns. The film was released in Japan on April 16, 1988, as part of a double feature alongside My Neighbor Totoro. Although initially modest at the box office, it later achieved critical acclaim and is widely regarded as one of the greatest animated films ever made. Do you want to go through the plot?
I think that's probably all we need to say.
Yeah, I think that kind of covered the plot.
Take it away, Matt.
All right. Fun time. We're going to talk about dead kids. Woohoo! All right. Yeah, dead kids.
Excellent.
All right. That's dead kids. All right. Okay. So that's how it starts. So we're going to be starting with fun times. And yeah, that's the moral of our story, kids. War is fun. And some ants are not very thoughtful when okay. All right, I'm gonna go back here a bit. Okay, so this ant their mom dies and it was just oh my god, this thing is like it's like hard to watch, but it's like wow. And I wanted to watch it, but I also didn't want to watch it at the same time because it's like damn. And okay, so they find themselves with their aunt, and she kind of slightly more and more shows them that, oh yeah, I kind of don't want to have to take care of you, so and when they're like, okay, we'll go and be homeless and probably die, and she's like, oh, okay, all right, bye bye, you know, and okay, this is about dead kids and their story and it's hard to get past that and to go and enjoy this, but they did something amazing that they actually showed what I get out of this, and I love real when art, there's some real art. I can get my own what I want out of it, and this is telling you to appreciate what moments you do have. They get to have some time the way they wanted it, live their way, and kind of feel free and not be kind of almost have an escape from hell. And that's kind of seems like the moral to me at the end is sort of like, A, war's not good, and B, appreciate what you can, what you do have, in life. And that's just something I get out of a lot of things because that's what I see. And this thing was much better quality than so many other movies in so many ways. But the art style, when you said 88, I didn't know it was 88. I'm like, wow, I thought this was late 90s because it's just amazing. That'll cover me for now.
So we do have to ask though, thumbs up or thumbs down, Matt.
Oh, let me see. I'm gonna go with thumbs up. It's for a lot of people. I would say they would why they would say no, but I would say definitely up for me.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna kind of agree with Matt on something here. This movie is phenomenal, but it is a hard watch. and it is something that you kind of don't want to watch, but you have to watch. And there's a scene in this that I've seen this many times. Every single time it gets me hard. And that's when the girl picks up the clumps of mud and is like, I made rice balls for us.
Mm.
That part just messes me up so bad. Um, and one thing though that I do have to say about what Matt was talking about with the ant was evil, but the ant also you got to go back in that specific time and see what a struggle it was and what bringing them in, how much um problems that caused on both, the disruptive nature of the house itself and the amount of food that they actually had to survive. So it's kind of like I get the ant's really bad, um but it's a hard situation. Now normally you'd expect that families would stick together, but that doesn't always happen. And it's interesting that you're talking about the appreciate those moments in life, because yeah, they have that opportunity to live free, and it made me think of the saying that there is about the light that burns or the light that shines the brightest burns out the quickest, or something like that.
Mm.
And this kind of feels like that. Is that they had this opportunity to live how they wanted to live with all this freedom, especially in Japan during that time. But because they're outside of what the culture is doing, they don't get they're not part of it. So they don't last long. Um, So that kind of hit me as well too. Now, this movie is actually interesting for another reason, is that there's really two ways to watch this movie. There's a way to watch it as Japanese and a way to watch as American. As a Japanese, you're watching basically kind of you're watching an anime version of basic history. Be it it's fictional, but this did happen. But then when you take it from American perspective, you have to realize this did happen. We did these fire bombings. And, we don't want to think of ourselves as a bad guy because we're in the middle of the war where you can turn around and say, but Japan attacked us first. But two wrongs don't make a right. And it makes it really hard to watch all that firebombing going on, knowing that when you compare that to the atomic bomb, the firebombing is really what destroyed the country.
Mm.
So now we did at least go back and fix the country
Mhm.
afterwards.
Somewhat, maybe.
Yeah, but um we still we had our hands in this. So being that it's my country that I love, it's hard to see history of things that we did that were done to citizens rather than, specific locations where bad things are going on. So that makes it as well as hard to watch. But I really say that this is a definite watch, whether you like anime, whether you don't like anime. This is definitely a movie that should be seen. So obviously, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a thumbs up. And I find it interesting the way that this starts, where the outcome already in the end, but it still just drags you over the coals to get there, where it's so difficult to watch everything just kind of falling down around them throughout the whole movie. So yeah, definite thumbs up for me. Ben?
Yeah, this one here, it took me like 3 times to get through it because, I kept stopping it. And, I don't know, Mike, I think you know, I don't know, Matt, if you know about this, but, like, I literally watched my sister die in front of me.
Oh, I didn't know.
So, this was, like, pretty rough to watch, but at the end of it, I decided, number 1, I don't think I'll ever I mean, I have to watch it again to do the edit, but I'm never gonna touch this movie ever again after that. and because of the fact that it is tragically beautiful in how it's made. It's beautiful. It's art. This is an artistic piece. It's like I do recommend that everybody watches it at least once. It's I kept remembering watching Jojo Rabbit, which if you've never seen Jojo Rabbit, that one is a kid growing up in Nazi Germany, and he's in Berlin, and his mother is one of the freedom fighters, and it's about his experience of the last days of the war in Germany, where the Russians are coming and the Americans are coming, and you see him and he's like 9, 10 years old, and they're recruiting him to go defend Berlin in the last days of the war, and it's a very similar, and it hit me very similar because this one here, this is like he's not fighting a war, it's just him and his sister, and he's playing like a surrogate parent in a way, but at the same time, towards the end of the movie, he goes and says, "How did the great Japanese Empire lose the war?" So he's like in his childhood innocence, like everything's great and everything's right in the government, and I'm just here living my own life here. Mistakes that I think that he did is a lot of it's very these are childhood stupid moves that he makes. Like one of them, like, yeah, the aunt was a bit of a bitch, but she was willing to kind of work with him, and he wasn't willing to work with her really. Where like maybe she wanted him to go get a job. He's sitting around all day just hanging out with his sister.
But you're seeing it through the perspective of an American in this time, and I've seen a little bit of enough Japanese culture, that you respect. You don't, mess with somebody like that. You don't res what is it? The respect? I don't know what the word would be, but that's just like, a f that's not the way things go. That's just not, like, really an option.
But on your point, Matt, two things actually that I want to mention. On your point, Matt, is that you don't eat unless you're told you can eat. It's you have to basically look up to the elder culture. That's
Yeah.
something that's changing quickly in Japan. But literally, if you were to have like a exchange student, you could end up seeing them standing in front of the refrigerator looking at it, hungry, but they won't do anything because you haven't said it's basically okay to eat. So that, what Ben was saying about how he was kind of wanting to do it his own way, it's kind of true. He wasn't really looking for work or trying to get back to school. If he could get into a different school or not, we don't know. But he was just kind of sitting around and basically, watching his sister, and that was causing turmoil on the whole family itself.
Yeah,
The other
like Mike was talking about before, like these people have very low, like you're in the middle of a war, you don't have a lot of resources. You don't have the normal resources you would have to begin with. And now it's even less because you're getting firebombed. You don't know where you might find food tomorrow. You have to go work with what you got. And now your sister's kids are getting dumped on you. And he seems like he does not give two shits about what you have to put up with to put food on the table. And I don't know, maybe, and I'm not saying that that's how his character felt, but that's how it was probably coming across to her. It's like, I got all this shit already, and now I got his shit, and I'm asking him, can you go and at least look for a job? And all he does is hang around with his fucking sister all goddamn day.
She didn't give him the actual instructions of how he could stay there. She just said, "You're a burden." And in the next
Well,
whole
then
serial scene,
coming back with, "Oh, I don't wanna be a burden. How can I not be a burden to you, aunt? Thank you again for letting us come and stay in your house."
oh, yeah, yeah, and that's wonderful in hindsight, but the thing is, he's a kid. He thinks like a kid. He's like,
And that's what a lot of the stuff in this movie is about, is a lot of the decisions are being made by a child, so of course it's a wrong decision.
well,
yeah.
not necessarily here for a second, because he gets he makes the decision to then say, okay, well, we're just going to do it our own way in your house, and they go out and they start making their own food.
Yeah, and then she's pissed off about that. He went and bought a stove just to spite me, and it's like, it all came back to that rice. He went and sold his mother's dress. She came and she took a portion of the rice, and then the sister's like, "That's our rice." I'm like, "No, if you guys are gonna be living there as a family, you go and say, you know what? Here, aunt, here, take the rice, this and help feed all of us, And, I know he's responsible enough to take care of his sister. Why can't he pitch in and help with the family? Then they all would have been taken care of. It was my
because
fault.
she didn't make it clear enough. And like Mike said, you don't do anything until you're told to do, kind of an attitude. And that kid is doing what the kid knows to do, and he's doing the best he could. That's an awesome, awesome character. That kid is like a serious awesome character. Somebody you have to love, kind of a thing. And
And the first thing you see is you see him die.
yeah,
It's the beginning of the movie tells you exactly what's gonna happen, because they show you the end before you get to the beginning. And
yeah,
I thought they were gonna go back to that at the end of the movie. I honestly thought that that was gonna be the first and last scene of the movie, was gonna be him on the street homeless. And it wasn't. It was just in the beginning of the movie. And you see this and yeah, you do know where it's going the entire time. Now, were they getting sick because of radiation from the explosions, or was it because they were drinking that shitty water that was in that pond they didn't know?
it was probably
likely
combination.
nutrition.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
that even know.
yeah. And
I
then
thought about that at the end of the movie, because they had all the stuff on their skin and she had diarrhea, and I'm like, I bet you this has nothing to do with radiation or anything.
exactly, yeah.
Some people might get that idea because well, the nuclear weapons we use against them, but I think it has to do with the fact that I keep seeing them drinking that water.
Yeah,
And that water, it's unfiltered. You don't know where it's been,
exactly.
you know, and they're kids. Everything, it's all these bad decisions because 'cause they're kids.
Yep.
And they're left on their own, and the whole movie, they think their father's alive, and then at the end, they say, "Well, maybe he's not alive." And I didn't. And they figured they never answered the question, completely, but you're left thinking that the father passed away because
Yeah.
the thing that because his ship got sank. And it's a tragically beautiful movie, and it's artistic. It covers a very sensitive issue. It takes it from a perspective you've probably never seen before, because usually it's like, how were the heroes? And like Mike was saying, like, I love my country, but to go and see that, yes, we did horrible things too. And we did horrible things maybe with the idea that the greater good was worth it. But this is what the small thing leading to the greater good, this is the reflection of what it causes. And there's a reason why people who grow up, they have this hatred for us, because they were what if this kid survived and grew up and learned to hate the Americans because they're the one who bombed his city, who bombed his town. His mother died because of them. His father died because of them, you know? Like it could have been this sort of an actually pretty good villain origin story. But it's very tragic in how it ends. As soon as I saw that, when they showed the little girl where she had the rashes on her back, I'm like, "Okay, that's how these people are gonna die, is whatever's causing that rash is causing their is gonna cause her die." And it's like, yeah, you're saying malnutrition because they weren't eating, drinking dirty water.
Which made them have diarrhea, which made the malnutrition worse.
Yeah, which was probably from the water they're drinking. So yeah, it's horrible. And he's robbing houses when everybody's like going to when people are going for or hiding. Well, they didn't really have like they have nowadays, like in Seoul and stuff, where there's actually like places to go when there's a bomb. So like they're just hiding anywhere, and like people in basements and stuff, and he's going around just like robbing their houses like left and right, and then he's trying to sell their stuff off later, and they're like, "I don't want your crap." It's horrible what he went and did, but at the same time, it's the whole thing of like, if you were running a food stand and someone stole a loaf of bread and you found out it's because their family's hungry, would you press charges?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I see is when you made mistakes, I think because that's what kids do,
Yeah.
and that makes me like feel more even when I think about this is just a kid. He needs help, somebody to help him, to make those decisions, and he's doing the absolute best he could. And can you imagine what it'd be like to feel that, when you are doing everything you can to keep your sister alive and it still isn't good enough?
I mean,
And you know you have to do something wrong to keep that person alive.
yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't seem like the kid that would want to do that, but he had to.
Yeah.
What a different story this would have been if the aunt went and said to the uncle, "Hey, at some point, can you take this kid aside and just set him straight?" And he would have took him aside and said, "Hey, kid, this is what you're gonna have to fucking do.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do this and help out. We love you. We don't want to throw you out."
And that kid would have done it.
Pretty damn close to it, and he would have done it. He would have obliged, but nobody told him
Exactly.
this is what you need to do.
There's another way to look at this is how different would the story have been if he would have been up front straight with his sister when their mother actually died. It would have been hard for the sister to accept, but the sister then would at least hopefully behave in a different manner when they get to their aunt's place, because hopefully by then the whole gravity of the whole issue would have even hit her.
Yeah.
So how would that change the situation as well?
I don't think that was really even a reasonable option. I mean, it's like, just like I said before, if you knew what was going to happen, of course that would be a great idea. But I would totally have done the same thing.
Mhm.
I forgot
And that's where you go back to the doing the wrong thing. Is it the best thing to do?
Yeah.
You know.
The shelter is the word I was looking for. They had bomb shelters. I'm like,
Yes.
I don't know why shelter. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, it's a tragic movie about a tragic time, and yeah, it kills you to watch it, but it's just beautiful at the same time.
And it should be among many things a required viewing for anyone that's in charge of anything to do with military.
Mm.
Mm.
Is there anything else we'd have to say? We have nothing from Barrett. So Barrett said this thumbs down. He hates the movie. He thinks the animation's crap.
Mike, you can channel Barrett. Barrett is
Uh,
coming through.
I know. No, I figured that he probably would have given something like this a thumbs up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would get this.
So, but I'm assuming, Ben, you're giving a thumbs up as well too.
Yeah, there's a thumbs up. So this is out of how many movies did we do?
6.
6. 2 of them got a thumbs up.
Yeah, the last two.
The last two.
So now I do want to mention something that you had talked about, Ben, where he had gone in and found out that they had lost the war. One thing that I had learned from the first class that I was in, the teacher was old enough to be alive during the World War II era. And she had mentioned that they're just blasting over the radios nonstop. Japan's winning the war over and over until finally the war ended. And up to that point, the whole country thought they were winning. And then they had to declare, oh, sorry, we actually lost. So all the people were made to think one way.
Yeah. When Mike said first class, he means when we took Japanese, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Just to clarify, because people don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's it for anime for us.
Yeah. Where are you? Where I think we should take like a little bit of a break in this, and then we're gonna come back and do the live action versions of some of these movies.
Yes, we have 5 live action movies. 2 of them are the same character. So we've got 2 Go-Go 13s. We're going to do the live action Ghost in the Shell, live action Devilman, and live action Perfect Blue.
Why don't we do do you want to do the Go-Go's one after the other, or do you want to book or use them as bookends? Start with one and end with the other one.
I was thinking we could do them as bookends.
Okay, let's do that then. So we'll start with one Go-Go 13 and then with the other one.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll let you guys know when we're getting ready to do that. I think you're right. We should probably take a little bit of a break now.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have a ton of editing coming up. Oh, you don't know when I recorded this, but this is getting into one of the weeks when we do one of our monthly movie reviews. So
We always have a ton of editing, people.
yeah, and there's only one. I mean, Mike does some editing, but like I'm the one who actually I'm on a payroll for someplace to edit, so I do a lot.
Blue Moon News represent right here. It's all Mike.
Yeah. So Matt, you have anything to add to this before we go back?
Actually, before that, I do want to say one thing. Thank you, Matt, for coming to all these episodes.
Yeah.
So that was part of that.
Yeah, he made it so far to all of our specials, including when we were doing the Otherworld.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I'm guessing Matt gets last word.
Go.
Fun time.
One more time.
Fun time.